welcome to another planning video with us. And today our lesson that we're focusing on is compare and contrast. Again, I'm going to give you guys just a quick disclaimer. This is not curriculum. We plan our lessons around real life experiences, activities, whatever it is that we're doing. We teach science as well as history lessons through reading. So hope you guys enjoy this lesson. So the first thing I want to share is that I do is I look at what the skill is actually telling me. What is this skill? So we're going to be looking at two or more things, explaining how they are similar and how they are different, and then how those similarities and differences matter. The next thing I do when I'm planning, this is not with my child yet, as I look at why the skill matters. It strengthens understanding, it supports decision making, it improves communication, and it reveals patterns. But the most important thing is what it looks like in fourth grade. So she's currently doing fourth grade work. And in fourth grade, she has to identify meaningful traits, go beyond the obvious, explain why it matters, and be able to transfer the skill. So that's what it looks like to actually do this skill in fourth grade. So this is how we start. We start with real life. It can be anything. You can compare experiences. You can compare animals, places, events. You can compare experiments. If you're doing science, you can do articles. You can do choices, whatever it is that you want. As I'm going through this lesson, you're going to immediately see that I can do this with anything. So I am going to do the first thing that we are going to do. So I'm going to go through our days because that's easier for me. On day one, we are going to do a video. As always, I always find something. I have a go-to person on YouTube that I use. So I'm going to share that with you. Give me a second. Let me pull it up and show you why I love this particular YouTube site. Okay, so this is the YouTube site that we use. This particular, I like her. If I show you a little bit, I like her because she not only teaches the skill, but she gives some examples on how to practice the skill. So this is my go-to YouTube person when I want to teach the skill and have something to practice. That way I don't have to create it and I don't have to figure it out on my own. This is just introducing the skill for the first time to my child. If it's the first time, this is fourth grade. So she's already been introduced to compare and contrast a few times. So I just wanted to share that's my go-to person. Everybody has their people that they look at, that they use, and their resources. Use whatever fits your whatever fits you. So let me go back and add it's up. What we're going to do next. So what we did is we decided to choose the Fall Fest from November. We've already done a writing lesson around that. So we've talked about it. We've discussed it. So we had Fall Fest. We do Market Day there. So we were there for 2 days. So what we're going to do is compare and contrast Fall Fest weekend and a regular weekend. So on day one, after the video, I created this chart. Let's see if you can see it. And we're going to put everything the things we did at Fall Fest and the things that we do on a regular weekend. So that's how we're going to start day one. We're going to talk through those different things. And then we are going to just go about our day. And throughout the day, this is the notice skill. I'm going to start asking her questions about just things around the house, different things that we're doing. What are the same about these? Why are they different? Why does this matter? So we're going to be building up our knowledge around that skill before we even really truly dig into the lesson. That's for day one. Quick, simple, and to the point. Now on day two. On day two is where I am going to start off with a model. I have this chart. This is our compare and contrast graphic organizer that we're going to be using. And we're going to use the list that she created from day one with all of the things from Fall Fest and all of the things for regular weekend. I get this question asked all the time. How do I model my thinking, and why should I model my thinking? The first reason you should model your thinking is because, well, the most important reason is because you want to teach your child how to think for herself. If you're just talking to her or talking at her, then she's not really understanding how to do it on her own. So I have to model for her how I think through that process. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I just pulled out some examples of just so I can model this for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at that chart and I'm going to say, okay, so one of the things that we did at Fall Fest was we went to the pumpkin patch. Now, is that something that I do at home? Do I go to the pumpkin patch at my home or in my backyard? I do not. So I'm going to put that on the side where under Fall Fest, because that is different from something that I do at home. Okay, let's see. What do we do at home? At home, instead of a pumpkin patch, we have a backyard. We have our house and we have a backyard. That's different from at the Fall Fest. So I'm going to put that under what we do on a regular weekend at home. We're always out in our garden and we're always doing things at home. That's different from that. So I'm going to put that in that category. Now, looking at these two things, what we did at the pumpkin patch and at the backyard, what is something that both of these things have in common that's the same? Both are places where we make memories. So I'm going to put that in the middle of my organizer because that's two things. That's something that's the same. At the pumpkin patch, we made memories, and we make memories at home and in our backyard. That's just me modeling my thinking. That's what I want her to be doing when she's going through this process. Then we are going to pick two more things, and we're going to do it together. When we do it the second time, I'm going to model my thinking, but I'm going to ask her the questions so she can fill in the blanks instead of me filling in the blanks. And then I'm going to release that to her. And then she's going to take two more things and she's going to do that on her own. She's going to identify one similarity, one difference, and explain why it matters. That's day 2. And then at the end of day 2, we are going to add a writing prompt. And I say the end of day 2, but depending on how much time and how much mental space that takes up from us, we plan on doing the writing on that first day. And on that for the writing, I'm just going to give her a prompt. I wrote it in her notebook. Something quick, something simple. Compare two things and explain one similarity and one important difference, and provide evidence to support your answer. That's it. That's day 1. Now we're going to move into day 2. What day 2 is going to be continuing practicing using real life. So on day 2, same thing. We're going to pick two things. We can compare science outcomes, historical events, compare explanations, compare real life choices, whatever it is. We're going to pick two things, and then we're going to use one of these thinking tools to practice it. So again, the thinking tool that I chose is same, different, and why it matters. We're going to put something that's similar, something that's different, and then explain why the differences matter, just using something else. And I have an example here in case you guys want an example. So comparing butterflies and moths. The same, they both are insects, they both have wings. They're different. One is a bundle. They're different because butterflies aren't active during the day, are active during the day, and moths are active at night. Why does it matter? Because this affects when each finds its food and why predators and the predators that they face. That was just a quick example. But we're going to pick any two things. And we're going to use these thinking tools. I always have two different thinking tools that you can choose from if you want to use this guide. That is day 2. And also on day 2, we are going to check if we mastered it. So I know if she was able to explain her comparisons, give her reasonings to connect those and transfer them to real life moments, I know she mastered it. But if she didn't, then we're going to reteach. So on day 4, If she mastered on day 3, we're good. On day 4, we're done with our reading lessons for the week. Well, we're done with this compare and contrast skill for the week. But if we need to reteach it, I'm going to choose one of those thinking tools and we're going to use that and go through that process over again. That's it. That is it. It's quick. It's simple. It's built around what your child loves to do. The reason I do things around what we do every day in interest-based, it keeps her focused. It gets her excited about learning. Y'all, that's all that we can ask for in this homeschool environment, because sometimes it can get boring. So I build my lessons around what we love to do, and doing that makes our days go a whole lot smoother and a whole lot easier. So if you're interested, I have this guide. This guide that I created is for 4th grade. I'm in the process of building out 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, as well as 3rd. And I should have that within the next few weeks. But this is 4th grade. I'm building them as I use them. So I know this works. I know this works. I am a teacher and I was in the school system for 15 years. And curriculum building is one of the things that I have focused on for a long time. But I also know that when we teach children using the books that the curriculum give them or the topics that they give them, most of the time they're not interested in that. So I needed to shift something in my homeschool that was going to make my daughter excited about learning. So now I built something that's based on, that can be used with anything that we use. So I have that linked in. I'm also going to link everything I use, where I get my ankle charts from, my markers and all of those things. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to link those things in the description as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do not follow me on TikTok or on YouTube, go on YouTube, on TikTok or on Instagram, go ahead and do that, because as the week goes on, I share my lessons. I give you some clips of raw footage, our discussions, and I take you through just a little more extra of what we actually, so you can see what the lessons actually look like. So thank you guys again for coming to the live. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. I will be responding. Thank you.